What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of the World Cup Road to Glory. I know, I said to you today would be regular FUT and it's not. And the reason why it's not is because although I actually thoroughly enjoyed the new SBCs, for my Road to Glory account, for my main FUT account, those players really don't mean anything and won't get into my team. I actually think it's a really cool thing that EA have done right now and we're going to get into that in a bit more detail in a minute. But yeah, I think for me it's not really engaging enough for me to go back to regular FUT. I won't use any of the players that haven't even qualified for Weekend League. So what I'm hoping for is that tomorrow at 6, so for obviously Friday at 6 PM, EA release something to do with weekly objectives or DKT or something or divisions, and that we can go from there. Now we start off with an icon here today, guys, a big upgrade, but this isn't the big upgrade that references the title of the video. It obviously is a big upgrade. Bobby Moore is a great centre-back. Him and Blanc are the centre-back pairing that I've got on my big Road to Glory World Cup team. And they're both very, very good. However, I do pick up another couple of huge players at the back end. And once again today, apologies for spoilers, but I kind of need to get it out of the way before we go into the comments. I end up playing through the World Cup again here today, and we lose again in the semi-final. The second time in a row that we've lost in the semi-final. And once again, I feel like I'm losing for two reasons. Number one, my goalkeeper's just not good enough. You know, the goalkeeper that I've got, he is 83 rated. He just lets in every long shot. When you're coming up against like Ronaldo's and Pele's and Maradona's and Neymar's and Messi's and CR7's and every single game, every finesse shot from the top of the box just goes in. I absolutely need Ter Stegen, Courtois, De Gea, Yashin or Neuer. One of those 5 goalkeepers is very important for me to get. But the other thing that's wrong with my team is it's very imbalanced. My midfield and attack is just very offence heavy. I don't really have a good box-to-box midfielder. Rui Costa's probably the best one for me, and he doesn't have any good defensive capability. So when I lose the ball in an offensive error, I just get countered in a heartbeat. And it just makes it really difficult for me. And I love it. I'm not complaining that I lost. The guy that I lost to, he scored plenty of goals. And you'll notice in any game that I lose in this mode, I lose like 7-6 or 6-5. I never lose. I never get blown out because it's so easy to score goals, but I lose because I leak so many goals. And as I say, it doesn't bother me to a heavy degree because it's part and parcel of the World Cup Road to Glory. The glory will be when we can consistently win the World Cup, when we've got a team that's incredibly well balanced and most of the players in the game. And that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to playing and growing, but I really need a good box-to-box midfielder or a good CDM. And I really need a good right back, and I really need a good goalkeeper. So even though people look at my team and they're saying, oh, with your team, you should be able to win the World Cup easily now, I can't because my team is so unbalanced. It's not easy at all. But with that being said, every time that we get a couple of big upgrades, as I mentioned before, we'll try our luck through the World Cup and we'll see if we can win it. Last 2 times I've tried it, I got to the semi-final and lost both times. So into the comments. The first comment I want to take is from Khalid Aden. And I love these comments because a lot of me has transformed throughout the years, and it has something to do with this comment. He says, is there any real reason why you need to do aggravating celebrations when you score a goal? One of the reasons why I prefer the World Cup mode ahead of regular FUT is because the people you come up against don't try and wind you up with annoying celebrations and not skipping rubbish goals. And first and foremost, I really used to get triggered by celebrations and how people reacted and acted in games. I used to get crazy frustrated. FIFA 12, FIFA 13, FIFA 14. You can go back and watch old videos of me screaming, why are you shushing me? Like, I was just get so angry at a guy for doing a celebration. During sort of like FIFA 17 and FIFA 18, my whole outlook on this game has changed dramatically as I've tried to become a better player and tried to, really capitalize and like just take advantage of everything in my arsenal. I stopped letting celebrations bother me. What I now do is when somebody does what would be deemed as an aggravating celebration or a tactic that's trying to wind you up, that actually encourages me to play better now so that I can return the favour because I know that kind of like mental warfare is actually going to work on this person. The fact that they're trying it means that it works on them. And it might be something, it might be nothing that ends up like starting me off doing something. It might be the fact that so there's one game in this this video where the guy pulled it back to 1-1. He went 2-1 up, and then he paused it 2 times in a row. He let the whole pauses run out. He let the whole celebrations run out. And I guess because it was a group stage game, he assumed that I would just quit. and it was only 2-1, and it was very early on in the game. So at that point, I'm like, okay, this guy's trying to, or maybe he's not, maybe he just needs to pause it, needs to go to the toilet or something, I don't know. But it gives you an edge, right? And what I'll say is this: the reason why the dab and the shush and watching replays and stuff works is quite simply only because you let it work. If you let it bother you, that person gets an edge that they didn't have before. And yet, it's the World Cup, you're right. It's not the be-all and end-all. It's not for champs. You're not playing for the most intense rewards. But this is a competitive game now. Whether we like it or not, whether it has the capabilities to actually play competitively or not, this is a game where people want to win the rewards. And this actually leads on to another comment we've got coming up in a second. But the reason why I do the celebrations is because it just gives me an edge. And it's hilarious that people actually let a celebration that's in the game bother them to the degree that it affects and impacts the way they play the game. For me, that's just crazy. And as I said, you'll find videos of me in past go crazy. People doing celebrations, people playing round the back, fire at the back, and even now to this day, you'll probably find videos of me getting frustrated when people are passing it around the back. But I'm not frustrated at the people that are passing it around the back. I get frustrated at EA for allowing it to be a viable, uncontestable style of play. I've talked about it to death many, many times, but in a nutshell, if you want to, you can hold this ball for 20, 30, 40 in-game minutes, and your opponent can't do anything to get the ball back because EA don't give you the capabilities to press somebody that's 5 at the back, ultra defensive, just passing it between the back line. So what you rely on basically is for them to make an error so that you can then get the ball back and then hope that you score from it. And that's the biggest problem. So there is no real reason why I celebrate with the celebrations that I celebrate with, other than the fact that it's just a celebration in the game. And if you get triggered by somebody doing a celebration that's in the game, you should probably look at yourself and your issues with that instead of the person that's doing them. Because if you don't let it impact you or affect you, then it's no different. A shush dab is no different to doing the Jamie Vardy celebration, or to doing the Matuidi dance, or to doing the Ronaldo su. Like, if you just stop letting it affect you, it will have no relevance when they do it, you know. And that's my honest opinion on that. Moving on to the next comment. Kieran Kinsella says, hey, Skills reckons that EA might make FUT Champs rewards untradeable in FIFA 19 in order to make more variety of teams in the weekend league. What do you think of this idea? Great vid, by the way. Thank you for the kind words. I mean, I've talked to Skills a lot about many, many things. I don't think Skills reckons that EA might make FUT Champs rewards untradeable in FIFA 19. I think he would like it for them to make them untradeable in FIFA 19. I think we shouldn't misrepresent and mischaracterize Skills in that one. I think I can see his logic behind it as well. I think one of the problems that we as a community have right now is that EA can't win with anything they do. And one of the reasons for that is because everyone has so much access to players and coins. You know, like I said this so many times before, in the regular FUT Road to Glory that we have on this channel, the majority of my coins were made within the first 10 weeks. I didn't really play the game to an intense degree after that. In 10 weeks time, we made about 8 million coins, 6, 7, 8 million coins. I don't have an exact value because I could have sold more at the right time. I sold a lot of things at the wrong time, but we basically made anywhere from 6 to 8 million coins in the first 10 weeks. That's an exceptional amount of coins to make in such a short period of time. And one of the biggest issues then is that I now have access to all of the top tier players. So when they do something like FUT Swap or like the new SBCs or like even the League SBCs, I don't care for those players because I already have something better. If all rewards were untradeable and coins only came either from match coins or packs, or maybe not even packs from, I don't even think we should get coin rewards from like FUT Champs stuff. But if all rewards were untradeable, it would be cool because it would kind of force you to take what's on offer as a good way to utilize and swap out your squad. So for example, right now, if rewards were untradeable, all those brand new Nation SBCs, some of those players might be so valuable to you because they will fit in your team and actually be useful to you. The problem with that is that you wouldn't be able to buy the players to complete the SBCs. You would have to pack them. And so EA would have to provide more opportunities for people to like get packs so that they could pack the players, to craft the players, to have fun with. It's a very interesting like prospect. I definitely think it's such a weird way to discuss things, right? Because like I don't think this game is worth it right now because I don't think the things that you get are worth it for your time. But at the same time, I think EA gave out too much too quickly. And although it kind of contradicts itself, it also doesn't. Like the fact that they gave out too much too quickly meant that after a certain period of time, for me it was 10 weeks, for some people it's 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. After that time period, you have so much that playing 40 games for a round total of 200,000 coins is just not worth it, because that 200,000 coins doesn't change your FUT world at all. And so it becomes not worth it. But at the same time, at the start, if you were only picking up 30 or 40,000 coins for an elite like finish, would that also be worth it? It's very difficult, and I don't envy EA for the situation they're in, because people are making it impossible for EA. When the World Cup mail came out, people were crying out for a repeatable icon SBC. EA gave them a repeatable icon SBC, and now everyone's complaining that everyone has a super team full of icons, so they couldn't win there. Everyone's crying out for more content on regular FUT. They released these awesome 4 major SBC cards and about 50 or 40 minor SBC cards, and people complain because there's already better cards out there for cheaper. And although it's true there is better cards out there for cheaper, they can't just give out more 95, 98 rated teams, because again it's going to cause the same issue. Everyone's going to complete those for super cheap, and then everyone's going to say, oh, this game's boring now because everybody has all of the best players in the game. And it's literally to a point where what people really want is they want EA to provide them things that help their team, but not anybody else's team. And that just will never happen. It will just never happen. So yeah, I don't know. Making rewards untradeable would be a good idea, in my opinion. Where's that next comment? So the dude Abides says, I think the problems you referenced a couple of episodes ago, the lack of content or the perception of a lack of content, the problem is now for some reason gamers have to beat a level or a game as soon as possible. Back in the day we would take our time and actually enjoy the story and not feel rushed to finish it in a day. Social media has really altered our lives more than most realise. Now when a game comes out, people have to be the first to beat it so they can get views or income, which is understandable, but people who don't stream have the same mindset. When the World Cup mode came out, how many people tried to win the World Cup and get all the players within a day or two? How are gaming developers supposed to handle that? It's going to be frustrating as a dev to always make a game that's not too grindy but not too short too. It's a fine line, just curious on your thoughts. And you've hit many very valuable points there. You're so right. People rush to get the end game content for views, for revenue, for likes, for retweets, for whatever it may be, to brag, whatever. The combatant to that is... and I talked about this before, and a lot of people just kind of didn't agree with my opinion. A lot of people did agree with my opinion as well, but the combatant to that, specifically in FIFA, is more cosmetic stuff that is both grindy and like purchasable and gives you the opportunity to play. The problem with that, with a game like Fortnite or whatever, that's fine, because there is no pay to win element in Fortnite. You don't get better guns or better weapons, or you can't jump higher or run faster because of something that you bought outside of the actual gameplay itself. Whereas in FIFA, you have better players and worse players, and you can spend money and get those better players quicker. And that's a problem in the esports world, and a problem for FIFA specifically in the gaming world, for the fact that people want the best things. And so it's difficult for EA because they can't make a game where every player plays identical, because it's football. It's a football game. And Cristiano Ronaldo in FIFA should play better than some rando card from Shrewsbury Town. You should have a difference. But in Fortnite, because it's a fantasy game, like just in general, it's a fantasy game, right? You don't have... You can't say like, oh, this character should be able to run faster than this character because of this reason, because that's not how it works. Every character has the same properties, the same abilities, and the skill prevails. But in FIFA, that's just not an option and not a possibility because of the way that football works and because of the way that the game is based. So EA are in a real predicament where straight off the bat, they can't really change that. but they can still add cosmetics to this game that are worth grinding for and can make your experience much more fun to play. And we've discussed that to death. Now this, for me, guys, is the huge upgrade that I was talking about. Picking up Fernandinho, who's obviously from South American region, which suits me perfectly, is massive for me, because he is going to be my CDM now, and his card is great, and if he gets an upgrade, it's going to be even better. So I was so happy to pick up that Fernandinho card. I sat there for so long on his card as well, because I was just like sitting there going, yes, come on, I actually got a card that benefits me here. But for the way for EA to combat it, for me personally, is just to add challenges for cosmetics that are achieved over time and can't be achieved by, you know, two people going into Divisions games with the squad name Challenge A and then just letting each other complete it. And that's a problem, because when you go into a game like Fortnite or whatever, people don't let you complete the challenges. When the search 7 chests in Dusty, when that was a challenge, when I went to Dusty, there wasn't a guy going, open this chest, then I'll kill you. No, this guy's going, I want to kill you. And it's very difficult for FIFA to capture that, because it's just a 1v1. I could talk about this to tell the cows come home. There's no easy answer for EA. There really is there's no like one solution fits all or one easy fix, because there are a lot of pockets of people that all want different things and think that what they want is the best for this game. And there are so many of those pockets of people that no matter what EA do, it's only ever going to appease the needs of some of them and not all of them. And that's a really tricky situation for EA to be in. And I honestly don't have an answer. I can tell you what the problems are. I don't actually have solutions for these problems, because there is quite simply no simple answer. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though down in the comment section below for the things we've discussed here today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.